What is going on, everybody? It's Nick, also known as Born Gamer, and it's a very exciting time of the year. It's actually my favorite time of the year for gaming, other than that winter time when you get all the new ones at the beginning of November, end of October. I did that backwards, but bear with me. I did an E3 predictions video last year, and there's just so much more to predict this year that I'm going to kind of talk about more than just one thing, but feel free to weigh in the comments down below of what you think is going to happen at E3, and I'm really looking for those Assassin's Creed comments because, you know, those are my people, but anything else you want to talk about, go for it. If there's any Earth Defense Force people out there, 2025 especially, that's a special place in my heart, and maybe there'll be a future video about that. If not, multiple videos covering that beautiful, beautiful game that is Earth Defense Force. But I got more to talk about. There's a lot of things going on at E3 this year. For those of you that aren't familiar, E3 takes place this year from June 10th to the 13th, if I'm correct. I know that there's a lot of press conferences on the 10th. I think that the actual convention where people get a lot of hands-on with the game, which is where you're going to see a lot of these demo videos coming from, a lot of bootleg videos of people just, holding their camera up, which, as the phone quality gets better over time, does just get a little bit better, so I guess that I can encourage that. If there's any of my subscribers that want to give me some bootleg Assassin's Creed footage, I would be, really awesomely appreciative, if that even makes any sense. If you want to send it to me, I would credit you, and whatever else you want me to do, I'm just not gonna suck your dick, okay? Yeah, let's just leave it. Did I really? Yeah, I just went there. So, let's get over the first thing here. The very first conference is a Microsoft conference that I care about. That's going to be on June 10th, 9:30 Pacific time to 11 o'clock. I expect this to be games. Like, they are going to have to really come firing out the gate with maybe new exclusives and just maybe something like really audience grabbing. I'm thinking maybe a Halo Spartan Assault already got announced. It's some kind of mobile game, tablet game. I'm probably not going to play it because I don't particularly care, but Halo has a special place in its heart for me, and once Halo 5 comes out, I'll probably end up buying that, so they can just show an image of Halo and I will be happy for the entire press conference. But since there was a very kind of negative feedback to all the Xbox One news, where they just told all the boring stuff, which personally, at least we got something. At least we didn't have to wait till E3. I think a lot of people were expecting a full E3 announcement, which would have been kind of cool, but then they would have had nothing to talk about at E3. So, it's kind of like a win-lose situation for them. So at least they got all the boring stuff out of the way, all the Kinect stuff, which actually looks cool. So, Microsoft's going to be all about the games, maybe a little bit more hardware, and hopefully the price points. That's something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm kind of determining whether I'm going to get a system this year or if I'm going to go PC this year. But moving on from that, PS4. I'm not personally a PS gamer to begin with, PlayStation gamer to begin with, but the PS4 really did look intriguing to me. It seems to have picked up a lot of tips along the way since the PS3's launch. Like, the online looks like it's probably going to be a lot better, and the only reason I say that is because there's a goddamn party system. Like, I could not play PlayStation Network because there was no party chat and all that, so that was just awful. So they get over these big hurdles, and there's a lot of hardware that goes into it. I will say, I'll be the first to admit that the PlayStation hardware does look better than the Xbox hardware. I am an Xbox gamer, but just like the PS3 had better hardware than the Xbox, it doesn't really matter. Once you're so similar, it all comes down to the multi-platform games and what system people decide to buy it on, which I would say, I think pretty handedly, the Xbox One, the last generation. You can make an argument, but that's all it is an argument, because I got facts, and they are, they're on the internet, so, just go look those up. Oh, I'm on the internet, so yeah, my facts are good, right? I check myself out, no homo. Oh yeah, did you guys see, this is totally random, did you see that Indiana Pacers, which is, NBA, it's basketball in America, for those of you that aren't in America, player said no homo after an interview, which is, in everyday life, kind of just one of those things where your friends don't make fun of you, but he said no homo in a public setting, and by that I mean in front of a camera, and he got fined for it, he got in trouble for it. So I just want to know, is that you don't have to answer this in the comments below, but I just think that's kind of funny, where this world is going to, for all the shit we give for little 12-year-olds swearing and call people fags on the internet. Here's this grown 7'2" man that says no homo, and all of a sudden he gets fined thousands of dollars. Where's the police for all these kids on Xbox? Am I serious here? I would say PlayStation, but nobody uses a mic, and just there's no argument there. Just nobody uses the PlayStation and a mic. I didn't, but that's just me, I guess. So okay, so the one thing I really wanted to get to, and this is all my AC predictions and a little bit of Watch Dogs. That's a game that I'm really excited for. I'm going to do a playthrough on my channel just because that game is so interesting. I don't even care if it sucks. It just looks so fucking cool. Like, how could you not? Like, everything's controlled with a cell phone and a computer, and sometimes it kind of looks like your mind. But you guys can go check out more videos on that. Hopefully I'll get some footage for my channel so that I can analyze it, break it down, do a little bit of that thing. And that's at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock Pacific time on the US. It's going to be 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock my time. So if you are like in Europe or the UK, which I guess is technically part of Europe, don't hate me if you guys don't associate yourselves with that. You might not see some gameplay or anything until very late at night. If you have a bedtime, this just isn't gonna be your day, but come Tuesday morning, you're going to have a hell of a time figuring out and catching up to the rest of the internet. But that's when Ubisoft's conference is. It's only an hour. I fully expect them to go into Watch Dogs. That's their next generation new IP, and I really think that they're going to flush it out and show some legitimate gameplay, not like an action sequence that everything seems kind of scripted. I think they're going to do a little bit more free roam, because eventually you just kind of gotta chill out and just show people that this can be like a great game, maybe almost like a GTA with tech kind of game. So I'm looking forward to that. But moving on to Assassin's Creed 4, I know that you guys are probably wondering what I think is going to happen with Assassin's Creed this year. I am actually excited for Assassin's Creed 4 for all the bad things you can say about it, for all the lack of innovation and all the time that they could have put into it by having more, like, production time, maybe an extra year in between. You guys have to remember that there's hundreds and hundreds of people working on this game, and it's not like the day Assassin's Creed 3 launches that they just from scratch start everything. They already have their engine in place, I would assume. They already have like the storyline in place. For all I know, they could have already been developing the game, and I'm about 100% sure that they've already had some form of development in. So it's not like they were starting over like day one 365 days later. So I really do have I really do have faith in Ubisoft that they're going to be able to flush this game out. That's actually just the single player side I'm talking about. I'm kind of worried about the multiplayer, honestly. I feel like there's less people playing Assassin's Creed 3's multiplayer than there were Assassin's Creed Revelations multiplayer. I'm probably wrong, because obviously that game sold a lot more copies than Assassin's Creed Revelations. But just from the community, just from the people that I hang out with, or should I just say play with, or don't play with for that matter, it just seems like people really aren't feeling the Assassin's Creed Online vibe. And I love it, I do like it, and one of the reasons I like the game, guys, is because I'm fairly good at it, and obviously like I'm just kind of screwing around this gameplay, which is actually a ripped live commentary that I was supposed to post a while ago, but I didn't. So, sue me. If you guys really want to see the live commentary, maybe I'll just repost the video, or maybe I'll just send you it on Dropbox. I really don't care. I don't think anybody cares particularly that much. But, Assassin's Creed multiplayer, they showed it off at last year's E3, and a lot of people hated on it in E3. Some of the things like the merging of the stun and kill button. Others, like, when you kill the wrong person, it'll give you like a 7-second timer. It's like 5 to 8. I'm just going to call it 7. Little things like that we kind of, I'm not going to say take for granted, but now that we expect come with the game, they either have to perfectly master how the online works, like promise some kind of like dedicated server feature, or just something where the game is just going to work at a higher percentage than it is now. And I know especially you PlayStation people are having a huge amount of trouble with the limited mode, so I apologize to any of you that bought a PlayStation thinking you're going to play Assassin's Creed Online. You were probably wrong, so I feel bad for you guys. But on multiplayer side, I would love to hear your guys' opinions on what you want to see in the next Assassin's Creed for multiplayer. Do you want to see new modes? I want to see them go back to some of the awesome modes. Like, I love chest capture. I would love them to be able to maybe fix some modes that I have big problems with, like manhunt. I hate stun locking, guys. You never really see me talk about stun locking unless it's in the negative. I feel like there's certain things that people have adapted their playstyle to in the game that it not only promotes, but it makes easy. So Make all the arguments against that you want. There's just a lot of problems with the game that only advanced players are going to be able to pick up on, which is a real big reason why it's not as noob friendly. You might say it's noob friendly, but let's be honest here, people. If it was super noob friendly, it'd be competing with Call of Duty right now. So, you know, single player I think is going to be good. Oh, real quick prediction. I think that they're going to show off Hatham a bit more. They can say all they want about him being Connor's grandfather, but it's not going to tell anybody about his personality. I think that they're really gonna try and dive in, maybe like a little mission with a little cutscene of like how he, you know, just how he talks and how he interacts and like what kind of guy we're going to be getting into, because everybody lacked that with Connor, and I think this is really the time to show off him. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm Nick, also known as Born Gamer. I'll see you next time.